Factually inaccurate.
Morally correct. This is Babylon Bee Radio. Our top story. In a stunning display of determination and perseverance, Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor has shown the world that illiteracy is no match for ambition and dreams. Justice Sotomayor has defied the odds and reached the pinnacle of her profession, all without being able to read a single word.
I just hope that my story can be used to inspire other little girls out there who can't read. Just because you can't make it through Hop on Pop doesn't mean there's not a place for you on the highest court in the land.
Though naysayers tried to tell Sotomayor that being a judge required some degree of literacy, she refused to take no for an answer.
I never let the doubters hold me down. They said I'd never be a judge without being able to read what the law says. Well, guess what? I can't even read the menu at Starbucks, much less the Constitution. But here I am, banging a gavel on the highest court in America. Reach for the stars!
Lawyers have called Sotomayor's complete lack of knowledge a breath of fresh air in an otherwise stuffy profession.
You see this woman having her dissent delayed because she accidentally glued her hands together, and it just makes her so approachable. Her story gives people hope and what a rebellion's built on. I have a blind nephew who says she has given him the inspiration to someday become a surgeon. Incredible stuff.
In an extremely awkward moment, 6 Supreme Court justices ruled that affirmative action is unconstitutional, completely forgetting that affirmative action hire Ketanji Brown Jackson was sitting right there next to them.
Today is a sad day for anyone who was hired strictly based on their race, gender, and sexual orientation rather than qualifications,
said White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, who was hired strictly based on her race, gender, and sexual orientation rather than qualifications.
Crap. Now this is awkward.
Vice President Kamala Harris, also an identity hire with no qualifications, weighed in as well.
Affirmative action is affirmative, and that's good. Without affirmative action, we will have non-affirmative action, which is the worst kind of action. And that's bad.
Clarence Thomas distracted himself from his awkward feeling by writing yet another brilliant opinion. Senator Elizabeth Warren forcefully denounced the Supreme Court decision, explaining that affirmative action is the only reason a young Native American girl like herself was able to go to Rutgers.
I would have been trapped in a life of growing corn and tanning buffalo hides. For me, affirmative action was the difference between Rutgers and the reservation.
According to her autobiography, Elizabeth Warren grew up in Oklahoma as part of the Comanche tribe. Despite spending most of her days in a teepee preparing buffalo stew, the young Liz Warren harbored a dream to one day go to Rutgers and become a senator.
I had 0 Ivy League qualifications, nothing but the ability to shoot a deer through the heart with an arrow from 50 yards. Rutgers took away a spot from a more qualified white man and gave it to me, allowing me a chance to take back the prosperity the white man stole from my tribe. Without affirmative action, my life would be nothing but a trail of tears.
At airtime, Warren had vowed to start a scholarship program to help young casino employees go to law school. Admissions faculty at Harvard was devastated upon hearing the news that they can no longer use racial discrimination to turn their school into a diverse rainbow of beautiful mediocrity. Their spirits were raised, however, once they realized they could accomplish the same thing by asking prospective students whether they prefer barbecue, ranch dressing, or soy sauce.
We really want to avoid too many soy sauce lovers here at Harvard. They're kind of boring because they study all the time, which is lame. But you need a few of them on campus because sometimes you can pay them to do your homework for you.
Sources with Harvard faculty also reiterated that ranch dressing appreciators are dangerous, disgusting people who have no business learning at a progressive and inclusive place like Harvard.
What we really want are more barbecue sauce lovers here at Harvard. They give our campus a colorful feel. They bring with them a wonderful, unique cultural flavor to student life. Unless they're white. White people suck. I hope white people die.
Harvard has since added an additional admission requirement, which involves a freestyle rap battle with other applicants. Leftists are devastated after the Supreme Court passed down a new ruling that will ban robbing those who didn't attend college to pay for the expensive and useless degrees of those who did.
If the useless poor can't pay for my $300,000 diversity and belonging doctorate degree, what good are they?
Said Dr. Michaela Barnes, a local Starbucks shift manager.
What am I supposed to do now? Work more? I'm ruined.
Sources say this tragic ruling will adversely affect the lives of thousands of feminists who will no longer be able to afford blue hair dye and may now have to find a rich man to marry them.
How could the poorest be so cold-hearted to our suffering? Curse you, Clarence Thomas!
At airtime, Democrats have been rocked by further tragedy as SCOTUS ruled you can't force Christians to do gay stuff. With the month of June now behind us and various consumer brands across the retail spectrum looking for ways to differentiate themselves in a non-Pride Month marketplace, makers of the popular sports drink Gatorade have announced the product will be switching its name back to Straighterade.
It's our standard name 11 months out of the year. Most people don't realize that we only call it Gatorade during Pride Month. It's a common misconception that it's been called that all along, but no, we're Straighterade.
After the public backlash against other corporate brands like Bud Light and Target, the decision makers behind Gatorade were adamant that they would not suffer the same fate.
We want everyone to know that we're all about straightness over here. And while we do have flavors that come in a wide range of colors, a rainbow one could argue, we want to make sure our heterosexual consumer base knows we are staunchly behind them. Yay, straights!
Some consumers were confused by the announcement.
Wait a minute, they're switching back to Straighterade? If I drank it when it was Gatorade during Pride Month, did that, make me gay? Was it gay-inducing? Did it change me? Do I need to drink some Straighterade as an antidote?
The company was unsure whether it would rebrand as Gatorade again next June, with its previously tentative plan of hiring Dylan Mulvaney already being scrapped. Following the release of the latest chapter in the Indiana Jones series, Hollywood producers worry they're running out of cherished classic movie heroes to turn into sad, pathetic old failures.
Indiana Jones is a cultural icon of virility and energy. What we've done in the latest movie is create an Indiana Jones-esque character that's just sort of a flaccid old cranky bummer who sucks at life. It makes us wonder what other beloved movie characters we can neuter and ruin. Don't worry, we're on the hunt.
Disney has announced it's also searching for more old characters to turn into sad parodies of themselves. Lucasfilm producer Kathleen Kennedy.
Luke Skywalker was a hero for the ages. We're proud of the way we took his character and just ground it into the dust, poured gasoline on the dust, lit that dust on fire, and then urinated on the ashes before shoveling up the remains and flushing them down the toilet. After which we condemned everyone who hated what we did to the character as a racist. Ha! Classic!
3 new Indiana Jones movies are in the works, including a storyline that sees Indy fighting for the good seat at bingo night and failing everyone who has ever depended on him in his life. The films will also star Phoebe Waller-Bridge as a delightfully insufferable know-it-all who's good at everything all the time. With sources confirming there are still some Luke Skywalker fans out there, Lucasfilm has announced a Star Wars reboot that will recast Luke as a communist black trans woman. According to sources, a female comic has broken a world record after going a full 6 seconds into her stand-up bit without mentioning her vagina even once. The previous record held by Amy Schumer was a mere 2 seconds.
Hey, how's everyone doing tonight?
Begins comedian Marianne Ehrlich in the record-breaking YouTube clip. She then holds for applause for around 6 seconds before beginning her first joke, in which she describes her genitalia in excruciating detail for around 15 minutes with no punchline whatsoever. The feat was verified by officials with the Guinness Book of World Records, who then honored Ehrlich.
It's such an honor.
She said before launching into a story about the last 328 guys she committed unthinkably filthy sex acts with. At airtime, the record had already been broken by Conan O'Brien after he identified as a lovely Irish woman.
I am a woman, yes.
Conservative commentator Matt Walsh has sparked controversy once again by appearing on the hit show Jeopardy and responding to every answer with his now infamous catchphrase, "What is a woman?" The normally composed Alex Trebek's successor, Ken Jennings, found himself caught off guard as Walsh consistently delivered his singular response regardless of the topic at hand. Other contestants rolled their eyes and sighed, signaling they were good progressives who shouldn't be canceled.
El Paso, Texas sits just opposite this Mexican city on the Rio Grande.
What is a woman?
No, the correct answer is Ciudad Juarez.
I'll take quantum physics for 1,000, Ken.
A device that allows some light to pass through unimpeded while completely absorbing light.
What is a woman?
That's incorrect. The correct answer was, what is a polarizing filter? I would remind contestants that the objective of Jeopardy is to actually answer or respond to the clue, or whatever it's called. Someone help me!
The other contestants refused to respond to the final question when the category was basic biology and the clue was
an adult human female.
To everyone's surprise, Matt Walsh simply replied with,
"What is a woman?"
earning him $1,000 and leaving him with minus $23,100. A 40-year-old medical research project has concluded that the number one cause of injury among boys aged 3 to 18 years is jumping off a roof with an umbrella.
Honestly, I'm not even sure why we conducted this study since we all pretty much knew this anyway.
Said lead researcher and father of 5 Dr. Sam Debaugh after reviewing the findings.
My 3 boys have tried it at least once. Actually, my youngest boy tried it like 3 or 4 times. he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, if you know what I mean.
The study also revealed that families in the U.S. spend a total of $480 billion per year on emergency room visits related to boys jumping off buildings with umbrellas to see if the umbrella will slow their descent. This is followed closely by injuries related to building makeshift ramps out of plywood and ramping a bike off of it, and injuries stemming from jumping down an entire flight of stairs with a black cape, just like Batman. At airtime, 3 male researchers involved in the study had been rushed to the emergency room with broken bones because the study made them really want to try jumping off a house with an umbrella to see if it would work. B-Radio features officially curated content from the Babylon Bee, scripted, voiced, and produced by Austin Robertson. Additional voices in this episode from Bettina, Brandon, Dan, Janae, Jarrett, Kristen, and Robin. Please subscribe, rate, and review B-Radio on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, or wherever you get your podcasts.